through. So the MIDI out of your controller is basically physically plugged into the MIDI in of your audio interface. And then your audio interface takes a USB cable generally out that is then plugged directly into your computer via USB. So keyboard out, interface in, interface out to computer in. Okay, that's how the MIDI cables work. And in the case of the Ableton track playing both of my Electron pieces of gear, I have a MIDI cable coming out of it, actually out of the Thunderbolt, directly into the Octatrack, and then I have the Octatrack going out, the MIDI out to the MIDI in of my analog rhythm. And each of these devices has to be set internally to accept sync via MIDI. And it's different on all instruments, so you need to refer to your manual for that. But it's totally doable. All right, let's take a little nosedive into control surfaces. We're going to talk about the Ableton Push 2. And once again, we have to go to our preferences in Ableton. Under the Live tab. We're going to go to Preferences or Command Comma. We looked at MIDI ports for the MIDI controllers down here. Now we're going to look up at the control surface section. Right now it says none, and our push is blank. I'm going to scroll down the list. Axiom, okay. Control Lab, Launch Control. Boy, there's a lot of instruments that are working now with Ableton. And there it is, Push 2. Can't be just Push. That's the older one, which I used in the How I Use Ableton video. It actually works better in terms of launching live recorded clips quickly on the fly. But the Push 2 is also very amazing, as it's you'll see its screen is much more densely populated with information. So I selected the Push 2, and here's Ableton Push 2 on the input and on the output. We needn't look at all at this section. We're good. Do the same thing if you have a launch pad or whatnot. The control surface actually has a script embedded in Ableton. Any that's recognized has a, I believe it's a Python script, I'm not really sure, embedded in it that helps it to communicate back and forth with Ableton in a fairly logical manner. In this case, I'm going to show everyone how to use the session mode in the session view. Remember, if I hit tab, I get to the arrangement view where we can record just like Pro Tools or Logic. But the best way to show off a control surface is in the sessions view. So we're here in session view, and you can see the red box. If I hit the page button, it's going to jump to the next bunch of tracks and then jump again. We can work that way. And right here on the instrument, I see a series of lit up pads. And before we were in note mode to play that bass line, just showing off controllers. And now we're in session, which will show the clips that exist on each track. Ignore these little tracks. Those are, well, I'll show you quickly. They have what's called an external instrument dropped into them, and they talk to a interactive video program called Isadora, which was created by Mark Caniglio, a CalArts alumnus. Yes, but I'm not working with video today. We're going to keep it simple, so just ignore these little tracklets, if you will. Let's see the control surface, push 2 in action. Up on this track, my first track, slow 9, D1. I have a few pseudo clips that are actually blank. There's nothing in them, and they're just directions for me to remind me what to do. All these little tracks, or clips I should say, that say mock-up are reminders, and they're actually what I would do live. But today we're going to just trigger them with the push buttons. Oh, too funny, sorry. And I'll just take off and show you how this works. Okay, there's my big 9. This one triggers every 9 bars. Bring in the 8 and the 7 for this. That one. Okay, I'm going to page over through the big red box, throw it over here to this one. Trigger the next mock-up clip. So again, they're blinking. That means they're engaged. And this is what control surfaces do. They reflect what's happening in the software. Page over. Another thing I can do is use the mixer up here to fade in tracks. That may not be happening yet. Let's try this. I'll take the other drum tracks. I have my Cuneo set up to gang fade. Bring in a little shepherd tone from Reactor. Try not to get in the way there. Nice. Stop that clip for the make noise. I'm gonna jump over to this. And I'll just bring this down now to demonstrate a couple of the other aspects of control surfaces. Jumping a little further over. Go box. Let's try that. Nice, okay. Now I can go into the devices section right here next to mix. And then my screen is going to show some macros that I have set up. This one will bring in the kick. Cool. Change the pitch. Stick it on 8 nuts. Take those off. Give it 16ths and then 30 seconds. Fun was had by all. Go back to mix. Bring that down. Go over here to flow squirrel. I like the flow squirrels. These are called scroll in Reactor. Go to its device. Play a little with the pitch. That's not quite as interesting. Let's go to the next one. I'll bring that one down. Actually, I'm going to quickly page back over to this tone hanger. Bring that down. And here we are back at scroll scanning. Go to device. Make sure that I'm not the squirrel scanning. There we are. So live manipulation of control surfaces is really fun. Let's try this one. Again, I have to be talking to it. Selecting that track. Focus. So one of the fun ways to work with control surfaces. Thank you.
And I have to say that Boo Boo really liked this session too. Say good night, Boo Boo.